everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel Ashaolu and you can call me this girl called Rachel. On today's episode, we'll be talking about an amazing topic and I'm so excited. I'm super excited because I have my girls here with me and today we'll be talking about Fulbright Scholarship. It's one of the competitive scholarship in the world, and they are in partnership with over 150 university in the US. As we all have like Mastercard scholarship, Chivney scholarship, and the likes in the UK. We also have like Fulbright scholarship in the US. And today they'll be talking about how they were able to like secure the scholarship. I have here with me Abby. She'll be introducing herself, and I also have Dara. She'll be talking about she's a master's student and she's a PhD student. I'm so happy to have you here. Hi guys.
Hello.
How you guys doing?
We're good.
Okay, so Abby, can you just introduce yourself?
So I'm just a Fulbrighter from Pakistan, and I got Fulbright around last year, August. So I'm excited to share about my journey.
Yeah, thank you.
So this is Dara. I'm from Dominican Republic, and I also received the scholarship about 4 or 5 months ago. So I'm also excited to share what I did to secure the scholarship.
Thank you. So I have some questions here, and I would like to ask you, since she's doing a master's and you're doing PhD, so I feel like it may be the same, but I just want to know what you did differently and all. So Abby, can you talk about Fulbright? What is Fulbright Scholarship? Can you just let us know?
So Fulbright is one of the very reputed scholarships that the United States of America offers, and it's offered to students all around the world. You can look up for example, for Pakistan, there's a high amount of Fulbright scholarships offered to Pakistanis, so it's a very good opportunity, and it's a simple portal. You don't need to pay anybody, so it's a trick. If somebody asks you to pay them, you go to the portal, upload what they ask you to do, and that's it. You're signed up, and they'll contact you in a few months to see whether you cleared the first round or not.
Yeah. Do you want to add anything to it?
Yeah, so Fulbright, it's very different from country to country. So in my case, for example, from Dominican Republic, you only have like 10 scholarships. So there's no much, like, a lot of opportunities, but if you're good and you feel confident, it's free to apply. So in my case, it's the same as a beer, like it's just a simple portal and you don't need to pay anybody to do the application. You just need, we'll talk about the requirements in a moment, but you just need your documents, your academic documents, and you're ready to go. So it's simple, and we're here to help.
Okay, so when is the window of application open? Is it like in March, August, or when is it open in your country, and when did you apply?
I think it's already open. Actually, I think it opened like probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. So it's always around February or even March sometimes. And in my particular case, it closes, I think it's in April, by the end of April. So you have like, what, 3 months to apply, to get your documents, to translate your documents if you needed to, because they need to be in English. So I think 3 months.
What about you?
So for me, this is a very important point. You can only apply to Fulbright if you're about to finish your degree. So you should have like your entire transcript ready. So for me, that was around March when the application deadline was completed. But this can vary country to country and the timing. So look at the time zone, look at your country, and the website has very clear deadline dates.
Okay, so what I would just want to chip in is that I think you have to go to the website to input your country, to know the requirements, to know when the application is open in your country, to be able to know when to apply, and also the schools they are in affiliation with. That is very important because it is not all the schools that have Fulbright Scholarship. They are in partnership with Fulbright Scholarship, so you also need to pay attention to this. So my next question here is, what are the requirements in your particular to your country?
For my country, it was very simple, very straightforward. All the visa requirement and all of that come later once you're accepted. But before you're accepted, It's quite simple, like other applications. You just fill out their application form with details about you and any other details they ask about. 3 reference letters, which are very important. You cannot, and I know some teachers do this, but like you cannot just write your own reference letter and send it off. So make sure the people who are writing your reference letter are really reputed and can tell you a lot about you. The 3rd requirement is your GRE report. You need to get that done at least in the last year before your degree is complete. Get it done before that. So a good score really matters. I would recommend a score of over 300 minimum. But I think for now it goes as low as 290. I'm not sure, but you can check that out. And the last thing is scanned transcripts. So these were the things for me. I'll tell you guys later a bit more about the questions that they ask in the application form.
Okay, so yeah.
So for me it was very similar, but I was also asked to have my resume uploaded. So, you know, there's like a lot of templates and like you can Google that you can use. Also, you need a valid passport. You also need your transcript, as Abir said, like the whole transcript after you finish your degree. And also you'll need your diploma.
Yeah.
In my particular case, since I'm from the Dominican Republic, so my transcript and my diploma was in Spanish, so I paid someone else to translate it because it has to be like you can translate it by your own. You need to pay someone else to do it. I was also asked for the 3 letters of recommendation, and something I recommend doing is like when you get the 3 letters, you need to waive your I think it was to waive the right to see the letters.
Exactly.
That's very important because if you don't choose to waive your right to see the letters, like it will impact. I feel like it's
They
bad.
might think that you biased your teacher
Exactly.
to tell you something against you.
And also for the GRE that Abir just mentioned, so it's not always required. Like in my particular case, I didn't take the GRE test because it was not required for the college that I was applying to. So you need to check both the requirements for Fulbright and then the requirements for your college, because in my case, I didn't need to take the GRE. And then something very important is to take the TOEFL. Because we're not native speakers, like we're all international students, and our first language is definitely not English. So they need to know that you're going to be able to take classes, to discuss with other people, to talk, to, you know, like to communicate effectively. So you need the TOEFL, and I think a minimum of 85, 90 points out of 120.
So for me, the TOEFL part is a little bit funny because I got to take the TOEFL after I was accepted. So they paid for my TOEFL, I got the marks, and that's how they got through. And for people who didn't in my cohort get enough marks, they actually went to a different pre-academic program, which was like more fun for them.
Yeah, it's like an intense program that you need to go for like 2 weeks before your program starts, just to make sure that you know how to speak English.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll say like a minimum of 80, 90 points on the TOEFL out of 120 should be enough for you to get into good colleges here.
Yeah, cool. Another question I would love to ask is, did you apply separately or you apply with your PhD application? For you, Abby, is it like you applied like together or separately? So how did you
like? You mean if it's a different application, if you're trying to get into a PhD and a master?
So I'll make an example. So when I applied for PhD in the school, I did not write maybe separate essay for the scholarship. It was together with my PhD application. I just show interest that I need scholarship. But for you, for the Fulbright Scholarship, I don't know if when you're doing your PhD, when you apply for your PhD application, is there a section during the application where you have to like show interest for Fulbright Scholarship and you have to write the essay why there, or you have to write apply for a separate application, something like that?
Okay, so the way it works for Fulbright, so in my particular case, I apply as a master's student at first because by the time that I applied, I was only I only have my bachelor, but then when I received the email saying, congrats, you have the Fulbright Scholarship, I was doing a master, and I was like, I don't really want to do a second master, I'm interested in doing a PhD program. So in that case, even though you're applying for a master or a PhD program, you need to upload a personal statement and a research study objective, something like that. So those are like 2 essays that you need to write, and one of them is more focused on the story behind you, like what have you done through your life until the exact moment that you're applying, and then the research one is more about like you can include more terms, you can be more professional because you're gonna be asked about what exactly you want to do with the program. So I think that's important too. And I think, I'm not sure, but in my year you had like a word limit that you needed to use.
Exactly.
So it was about, I think it was 800 word limit. So
So is it the same thing with you?
Yeah, so for the research objective, like Dara said, it was like 700 to 750 word limit, and the personal statement or the narrative statement was also 700 to 750 words.
Okay. So what are the likely questions, like essay questions that they ask during? Is it the same for masters and PhD, or is it different?
So no matter if you're applying for a PhD or a master, the interview will be kind of the same. Like I feel they have a standard questions to ask. So the questions I remember being asked was, so when you get the interview, means that you're I think you're not.
You're not 100% accepted, but you've crossed the first round.
Exactly.
Okay, so sorry to cut you guys. Is it like you first have to apply? There's like application form where you have to apply, and there are essays that you need to write.
Yeah, actually,
Right.
there's a lot of waiting time in the middle. Like I remember, I submitted my application by the end of April, and it was not until September that I received the email saying, "Hey, we'd like to schedule an interview." So you need to be patient about that. And then once you get into the interview, in my case was through Zoom. I think they're doing that in all cases. So I remember there were 5 people in my interview, and they all introduced themselves like, so da-da-da, and I'm doing this, and I'm part of this, blah blah. And then they'll ask you for introduce yourself to the Fulbright panel. So it should be like very brief, like just to say your name, like who you are, what are you doing, and that's it. And then I remember like some of the questions were like, how would you describe yourself? What is your strongest point? I remember that I was also asked, how did I become interested in my field of study? So those kind of questions, I remember like even though you have on internet like questions that are uploaded by other Fulbrighters, I also like I feel like you need to be prepared for any questions that feel like they're only going to be asked for you. Like for example, I remember when I applied to my job, for my Fulbright Scholarship, I think it was a week before that I quit my job because I was awarded with another scholarship to go to Madrid. So I was kind of prepared if they asked me, why did you quit your job? Like, what are you doing now? So I feel like you need to prepare in advance and like think about all the questions that you can be asked. And also an important question that I feel like they always ask, maybe Abir can confirm that, is why should they send you to the US on a Fulbright scholarship? Because at the end you're an international student and you will receive all the funding from the US government and your stipend and everything. So they need to know why are you the right person to send across.
Yeah. So do you have anything to add to it?
So yeah, I'm gonna add a little bit about the interview, but obviously we should also get back to the personal statement and research objective because that is the crux of your Fulbright application. That is the biggest point you can work on, and that is the make it or break it deal. So in the interview, I was a nervous wreck. So you need to remember that the people who are interviewing you are not professionals in your field. So make sure that you use layman language. You don't include any complex terminologies. you simplify it, and you do not get super nervous, because at the end of the day they're just seeing whether you might be a possible candidate or not. So there's no wrong answer, but make sure to, like Dara said, take out a list of questions, keep the answer to them, and practice over and over again. I saw online that it might be a longer interview, and so when I only got an interview of like 2 minutes 30 seconds or something, I broke down. I thought I'm done. But turns out it was a good interview, and it's almost like a rapid fire. They keep on asking questions. You need to give short, concise, detailed answers. So don't miss out on anything important, and you can do that by preparing beforehand.
Okay, thank you so much. Another question that skipped my mind is, what are the benefits you have, or what are the benefits that comes with Fulbright Scholarship?
I think the most important and obvious one is that you want a Fulbright Scholarship. Just by saying that you're a Fulbrighter, it's like
you're easily accepted into this huge community, and they're also helpful.
So I think that's one point. And then I feel like, of course, since we're international students, education here in the United States can be expensive. So once you have your Fulbright, you're gonna be a fully funded student. So they'll pay for the stipend, they'll pay for the tuition fee, they'll pay for your health insurance, they'll pay for everything. So I think that's the main benefit of the scholarship, that you get to access to go like amazing colleges without paying a cent. So I think that's the benefit of it. Like, because in my particular case, in my country, you don't have, like, at least that I know, there's only one master program in my field. So what if I don't want to do that one? What if I need something else? So I think that's
okay. Yeah.
I feel like for me it would be that someone's there every step of the way, just helping you. One, community, but two, there's a program officer in your home country, and also one in the US that's specifically designated for your responses and to help you out. You get stipends on time, so any of that issue, medical insurance, that's very important over here, and that's also covered. I know a lot of people talk about how the bond is a very big con of Fulbright, because you're gonna have to, I think for PhD it's for 4 years.
Well, actually, the way it works, so I'm only receiving money from Fulbright for the first 2 years. That's what they agreed to, and then my college is gonna pay for my tuition fee and my stipend at the beginning of the 3rd year. But I think for master's, since you're only here for like 2 years, like you're fully funded the whole time by, like, your sponsor is Fulbright. You don't need to change into or to switch into a different visa or to a different organization.
So I think the bond for masters is obviously 2 years, but for PhD it might be 4 or 5 years. You can Google that. So that's why I would recommend it for master's students, and maybe not as much for PhD students, because you do get a funding from the school or stuff, right?
Yeah, that's something I like to talk about. So when I applied to my Fulbright Scholarship, I applied as a master's student because I only had my bachelor back then, and then I decided to switch to a PhD program because I was doing a master. So I was like, I'm not interested in doing a second master. But I do encourage you, like, if you're thinking of applying for a PhD, you don't actually need the Fulbright Scholarship, because the way it works in the United States is that you apply to the college, and if you're accepted as a PhD student, you become a fully funded student, no matter if you have a scholarship like Fulbright, whatever. So I think it's more helpful for a master's student because it works different, but for a PhD student, like, you only need to apply directly to the college that you want to, and if they accepted you, you're gonna be fully funded by the college.
Okay.
There's a very fun part that's not really related, but like there's a Fulbright seminar after you come here. So obviously the plane tickets, the housing, like monthly stipend, the fees for the school, fees for the medical insurance is all covered. But after a few months, you also get the Fulbright seminar. It's for Pakistani students. I don't think it's for the Dominican Republic, but specifically for Pakistani students, you get a seminar where they fly you to one city where all the other Fulbrighters meet, and they have special sessions for you, free food, free hotel, and it's a whole lot of fun.
Okay, good. while you were talking, I just thought about something. Like, does this Fulbright scholarship also extend to, like, if high school students that they want to go for their bachelor's?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Can you correct me if I'm...
No.
It's
Okay.
only for
It's
a
only for
master's and
master's
PhD
and
program.
Okay.
Like you can apply for a bachelor's.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, good. Abby, I want to ask: is there any particular thing you actually observe when you are applying that you think is very important and to make you stand out, and it will make you be at the edge of other people when you are applying to Fulbright scholarship?
I think that a lot of people just apply to Fulbright Scholarship just for the sake of applying.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of people know how to apply because
Mhm.
that's the most important part. The
Mhm.
most important part of your scholarship is going to be the research objective and
Mhm.
person statement.
Mhm.
And I can honestly tell you, it took me 9 times of
Yeah.
rewriting it and rewriting it until
9
the,
times.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Until the very last minute
Oh my God.
when the deadline was there, application was about to
Mhm.
close, and I
Mhm.
was like, I cannot edit this anymore. I
Mhm.
have to submit it in, and that's when I did. The most important part over here is that you're an amazing person. I probably know that. You
Mhm.
probably know that.
Mm-hmm.
But still, instead of all the goals that you're listing, you need to have one goal of how you came here,
Mhm.
why you're studying this, and most importantly, what you're gonna contribute to your country afterwards.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a solid plan.
Exactly.
Like my senior mentioned that she wants to open a business in biotech. I mentioned that I want to be part of, like, I want to have my own research group and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be like a solid plan, but you do need to have a plan.
Mhm.
And at the end of it, you feel like I don't even know myself what I want to do, what I don't want to do, but just try to get the closest thing that you want written on paper.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the most important part. Maybe if you have a friend or a teacher who's had, Fulbright scholarship successes beforehand, you can share it with them. Don't share it with every person, but you can share it with them because they might have a better understanding.
And actually, something important about that is that those essays are the only time, like, those are gonna be the first impression. And all the full, like, it's all they have, like, all the Fulbright committee
Mhm.
has at that time is what you just present to them.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like you need to do your best. And since we're all international students, of course we know English because we're applying to the United States, but
Mhm.
since it's not your native language,
Mhm.
you need to make sure that the way you're writing things is the right one. So I
Mhm.
remember asking even family members
Mhm.
that English was their first language to
Mhm.
review it
Mhm.
just for grammar, just to make sure that I'm communicating what I wanted to.
Mhm.
So that's very important, like Abir said. And I edited mine like probably 5 times because I wanted to be perfect because it's the only thing they have.
Yeah.
But do your best. Like, I remember if I just open my personal statement now, I'll feel like I can do better.
Mm-hmm.
But that was what I thought that was the best at that time. So
Okay.
just do your best.
Okay.
Yeah, and also, it's like a story. So
Yep.
your personal statement is like from
the
who
very
you
beginning.
are as a
Yep.
person and
Mhm.
how you've progressed to this point,
Mm-hmm.
and your research objective is how you develop those goals and how are you gonna carry on.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very important, and the most important thing you need to know, and a lot of people in Pakistan do this, is that they will add in half the dictionary.
Mm-hmm.
They will add in a lot of complex words, complex
Exactly.
grammar. Basic grammar, you can do a lot with basic grammar, basic vocabulary,
Mm-hmm.
but your story needs to come across, your aims, your aspirations, and who you are as a person needs to come across. And specifically, the first paragraph for both the person statement
Mm-hmm.
and research objective needs to be very interesting and
Mhm.
very you.
Mm-hmm.
And
Because
very
that's
eye-catching. Like,
exactly, because
Mhm.
they're going through thousands of applications.
Yes. Yes.
And it needs to be something that makes it seem like, okay, this is something worthy, let me look through it.
Exactly.
And they have gone through so many applications that you can't trick them into fake emotions or anything.
Mhm.
They are going to be so smart at it that they can just pick up
Yeah.
what you are doing or who you
Mhm.
are as a
Mhm.
person.
Yeah, thank you so much. This is what I always tell people, that if you want to apply for a scholarship, it is work. Because if you can't do that work while you're applying, how are you going to survive when you are doing a master's in the US or PhD? It's a whole work, it's a whole lot that you need to do. So you need to put in the work, you need to sell yourself tell story about you. This is the only thing, like they said, this is the only thing that they have to know you. So you just want to, like, you want to get the money, and you need to sell yourself, and you need to sell it very well. So it is very important to pay attention to your personal statement, your research objective, and also while doing that, you want to sell yourself. Sell yourself. It is very important. I just want you to know some of the things I denote from what they both said is one thing is you have to search online your country, go to Fulbright Scholarship website, put your country to know the requirements, the documents you need to submit, the deadlines, and also you want to be prepared. Also look at the schools that they are in partnership with Fulbright Scholarship, and you just want to prepare beforehand. That is very important. You need to prepare those exams. You want to know, you want to like plan it, when do you want to take it, so that you'll be able to meet the deadline. And with this, I don't think it is like particular to one country, whether you're in Nigeria, whether you're in India, anywhere in the world, you can always apply to this scholarship. And yeah, we've come to the end of today's video. I just want to thank you, Dara. I want to thank you, Abby, for coming to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to have you guys here. And thank you, everyone. If you watched to the end of this video, make sure to like, share with anybody that is interested in studying in the US, and I'm very sure that this will be very helpful. And also subscribe. Press the bell button in order to get a notification when I have a new video. In my next video, I'll be talking about how I secure a scholarship for my PhD, and how I'm here. I'm actually going to be doing it with a friend of mine, so watch out. See you in my next video. Bye.